blessed by the Most High. I know it's been a minute since I last spoke to you, but I kind of have to do these things in the Most High's timing and not mine. Family, we know the last 2 or 3 weeks it's been all over the news about Kanye and Kyrie Irving and all the turmoil it's caused. And I'm really not understanding it. Because, family, we don't have to contend with nobody who the people are. It's written. And I'm not going to entertain that stuff. You know, if they want to argue against the Most High and His scriptures, then let them do it. Because I'm not going to argue with them. And neither should anybody else. The word speaks for itself. Okay? And it's just, to me, the Most High's people are waking up, just like He said they would. You know, and most people of the world have a problem with that. But, you know, I don't care what kind of problem you have with it, you're not going to stop it. Okay? You can get mad and say all you want to say. It's not going to stop any prophecy from being fulfilled. And if you're not careful, you're going to find yourself fighting against the Most High Himself. And that's a fight you're not going to win. I don't care who you are. You know, who you say you are and where you came from, and you this person and I'm this person, you know, all that stuff. I don't care who you are. You're not going to stop the Most High's prophecy and what is written by the prophets. In fact, even the Pharisees of that day knew better. If we go to Acts chapter 5, verse 38 and 39, when they were plotting against the apostles for teaching, you know, the word and the gospel. So, up in verse 34, it was a Pharisee named Gamaliel, and he was a doctor of the law. And he told the people in that council to leave those apostles alone. Just leave them alone. Let's see what he said, starting at verse 37. He said, after this man rose up, Judas of Galilee, in the days of the taxing, and drew away much people after him, he also perished. And all, even as many as obeyed him, were dispersed. Verse 38. And now I say unto you, refrain from these men, and let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught. Verse 39. But if it be of Yah, you cannot overthrow it, or else you'll be found even to fight against the Most High. So as he's telling those other Pharisees in that council meeting, hey, if what they are saying is a doctrine of men, then it's going to come to naught. It's not going to amount to nothing. It'll fade away. He said, but if what they're saying is of the Most High, you're going to find yourself dealing with the Most High himself. So leave them alone. And this is a good warning for people who reject the scriptures. Okay? Now, let's go to, get your Apocrypha out, and let's go to Baruch chapter 2, verse 30 through 35. Let's see what the Most High is saying. It says, for I knew that they would not hear me, because it's a stick-necked people. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves, and shall know that I am the Most High, Yahuwah, their Elohim. For I will give them an heart and ears to hear, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name, and return from their stiff neck, and from their wicked deeds. For they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before the Most High. And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And they shall be lords of it, and I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. And I will no more drive my people of Israel out of the land that I have given them. So, Most High said, in the land of our captivity, we were going to remember. Is this not what happened? I mean, you got all kind of people coming into the knowledge of who we are. And man can't stop it. I'm telling you that right now. They can't not stop it. They can get mad, and they can persecute people for saying it, but we only reciting what's written. Okay? Let's go to Zechariah chapter 10, verse 8 and 9. He said, I will hiss for them and gather them, for I have redeemed them, and they shall increase as they have increased. And I will sow them among the people, and they shall remember me in far countries. And they shall live with their children and turn again. Once again, he says, that we're scattered among the people. But they're going to remember me in the faraway countries. Let's do one more. 2 Chronicles chapter 6, verse 37 and 38. Yet, if they bethink themselves in the land whither they are carried captive, and turn and pray unto thee in the land of their captivity, saying, we have sinned, we have done amiss, and have dealt wickedly. Verse 38 says, if they return to thee with all their heart and with all their soul in the land of their captivity, whether they have carried them captives, and pray toward their land, which thou gave unto their fathers, and toward the city which thou hast chosen, and toward the house which I have built for my name. So, family, it's no point in either arguing with any person. I don't care who they are or who they claim to be. It's written. The people, the chosen people of the Most High, is clearly defined in the scriptures. So it matters to me not whether they believe it or not. That's on them, because it's written in the same book they read. Okay? Listen. We people call us black Hebrew Israelites. I don't know where they got using that word black Hebrew Israelites. I mean, what other kind is it? Okay? Now, most of us will say we're Hebrew Israelites. Some of us will say Hebrew, and that came from the word Eber, which was the grandson of Shem. Okay? And from Eber came the genealogy of Abraham. He came from them, through his father Terah. If you look up the word Hebrew, it says one from beyond. It's a designation of the patriarchs and the Israelites. Okay? It's Eber is a descendant of Eber. Okay? And that's the line that Abraham came through. So, with that being said, I have to make a statement that some people might find kind of crazy. But Abraham was a Hebrew, not an Israelite. Isaac was a Hebrew, but not an Israelite. Even Jacob, who was renamed Israel, was a Hebrew, not an Israelite. He couldn't be, because he is the father of the 12 tribes, which are known as the Israelites. So he couldn't be one, but he was the progenitor of it. He the father of them. But he himself was a Hebrew. Okay? Now, all Israelites are Hebrew. Okay? But only one tribe is called the so-called Jews. We don't call ourselves that. That's what other people say. And back in the days of our ancestors, Gentiles called them Jews. But we say Yahudim or Yahuda. All right? So, the descendants of Judah is what the Bible referred to as Jews. But that's just in their terms. We were Yahudim or Yahuda. We never called ourselves that. Okay? So anybody want to say that other word, they feel free, because that's not what we go by. So let's go to Genesis chapter 11, verse 10. It says, these are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and begot Arphaxad 2 years after the flood. All right. Now let's go to Genesis chapter 11. Go down to verse 25 through 27. And Nahor lived after he begat Terah, and 119 years, and begat sons and daughters. Now we all know who Terah is. That's Abraham's father. Verse 26, and Terah lived 70 years, and begot Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Verse 27 said, now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begot Abram. That's before he, was Abraham, or vice versa. Nahor and Haran. And Haran begot Lot. All right? So we clearly see Abraham was a descendant of Hebrew. He was a Hebrew, not an Israelite. They wasn't here yet. Okay? Let's go to Genesis chapter 14, verse 12 and 13. And they took Lot, Abram's brother's son, in other words, Abraham's nephew, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. And there came one that had escaped. See, the people, they robbed Lot and took his stuff and everything else, but somebody escaped and went and told Abraham. Verse 13, it said, and there came one that had escaped and told Abraham, the Hebrew. Okay, you see it right there with your own eye. For he dwelt in the plain of Mamre, the Amorite, brother of Eshcol, and brother of Aner. And these were federate with Abram. So that verse right there lets you know that Abraham was a Hebrew. Okay? No way that he could be an Israelite, like people might think so. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, they're all Hebrew, not Israelites. Okay? And when you go to fooling around with the King James, it tries to group everybody up in the same thing. When it refers to Jews, most of the time they're talking about of all of Israel tribes. But that's not true. Sure. The only one that could be classified as so-called Jews would be the descendants of Judah. Okay? Not the other 11 tribes. Only Judah. Okay? And as we go along, you're going to see that. All right? Judah and Israel were always kind of mentioned by themselves, even before the split. You know, Judah was kind of the prominent tribe, and so when you read it, it always say Judah and Israel. Okay, that's even before they even split up. So why was Judah the prominent tribe? Because that's the tribe that Mashiach come through. Okay, that's why. Now, by right, it should have went to, I think, Reuben or Levi or something like that. But the Most High had something against him, so it went to Judah. Okay. So right now, let's talk about when they split up. All right. Let's go to 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 9 through 13. And the Most High was angry with Solomon, because his heart was turned from the Most High of Israel, which had appeared unto him twice, and commanded him concerning this thing, that he should not go after other gods. But he kept not that which the Most High commanded. See? So the Most High was angry with Solomon. You know, he didn't turn out too good. He started out good. Verse 12 says, notwithstanding, in thy days I will not do it for... Oh, no. I skipped verse 11. And it's important. It says, therefore the Most High said unto Solomon, for as much as this is done of thee, and thou hast not kept my covenant and my statutes, which I commanded thee, I will surely rend the kingdom from thee, and will give it to thy servant. Okay? And who was his servant? I think it was it Jeroboam? Okay. Then verse 12 say, notwithstanding, in thy days I will not do it for David, thy father's sake, but I will rend it out of the hand of thy son. He said, now, for David's sake, I'm not going to do it, but I will take it out of the hand of your son, which is, I believe, Rehoboam. Verse 13 says, howbeit, I will not rend away all the kingdom, but will give one tribe to thy son for David my servant's sake, and for Jerusalem's sake, which I have chosen. Okay? So who is that one tribe that he let him keep? Judah. Okay? Go to 1 Kings chapter 12, verse 16 through 24. And it says, so when all Israel saw that the king hearkened not unto them, the people answered the king, saying, which portion have we in David? Neither have we inheritance in the son of Jesse. To your tents, O Israel. Now see to thy own house, David. So Israel departed unto their tents. And when it's talking about Israel, it's talking about the other tribes now, not Judah. Verse 17, but as for the children of Israel, which dwelt in the cities of Judah, Rehoboam reigned over them. Verse 18, then King Rehoboam sent Adoram, who was over the tribute. He was over the money, okay, taxes. See, that's what they were complaining about, was the taxes. And all Israel stoned him with stones that he died. Therefore King Rehoboam made speed to get up to his chariot to flee to Jerusalem. See? So the king, got up on his chariot to flee back to Jerusalem. Verse 19 says, so Israel, not Judah, rebelled against the house of David unto this day. Okay, unto this day. Verse 20 says, and it came to pass, when all Israel heard that Jeroboam was come again. Jeroboam is the servant that was going to take over Israel, like the Most High said in verse 11, that he was going to give Israel to his servant, all except for Judah. Verse 20, and it came to pass, when all Israel heard that Jeroboam was come again, that they sent and called him unto the congregation, and made him king over all Israel. Okay, not Judah. There was none that followed the house of David, but the tribe of Judah only. All right. Verse 21 said, and when Rehoboam was come to Jerusalem, he assembled a house of Judah with the tribe of Benjamin, and 180,000 chosen men, which were warriors, to fight against the house of Israel, to bring the kingdom again to Rehoboam, the son of Solomon. See, since that split, family, Judah has nothing to do with the other tribe. Didn't want nothing to do with them. I mean, they was gonna go to war with them so that Solomon's son can be back in control of all of the tribe. Okay? But let's see what the Most High thought about that idea. Verse 22. But the word of the Most High came to Shemaiah, the man of the Most High, saying, speak unto Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, king of Judah, and unto all the house of Judah and Benjamin, and to the remnant of the people, saying, Thus saith Yahuwah, you shall not go up, nor fight against your brethren, the children of Israel. Return every man to his house, for this thing is from me. They hearken therefore to the word of the Most High, and return to depart according to the word of the Most High. See, they're ready to go and fight their own, really, kinfolks, brothers and sisters and stuff. And the Most High said, nah, don't do that, you know. You know, family, we don't pay attention to our own scripture, and therefore the people of the world can say anything, you know. You don't know, family, and according to the scriptures, now people can argue against it all they want, but I know that the Most High himself knows where all his people live. And so we know that he said that Judah is going to be scattered to the four corners of the earth. So for us here in America or the Caribbean or whatever and stuff, and people try to say that you're not Judah, well, you may as well call the Most High a lie, because he know where he scattered you to. You know, you have the verses say in that time that he's going to gather the outcast of Israel. See, it's always separate. And the dispersed of Judah from the four quarters of the earth. All right? In fact, let me see if let's get some of those verses. Let's go to Jeremiah. Yeah, let's go to Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. And you'll see it's just a difference between Judah and Israel. And Judah is just chosen and favored by the Most High, because this is the tribe that he's going to come through. This is why he's called David, you know, the son of David. All right. So let's go to Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. And I saw, when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, I had put her away and given her a bill of divorce. Yet her treacherous sister, Judah, feared not, but went and paid the harlot also. See, Judah was stiff-necked, and it's that way today, family. Verse 9 says, and it came to pass through the lightness of her whoredom that she defiled the land, and committed adultery with stones and with stocks, wood and stones. Verse 10 says, and yet for all this her treacherous sister Judah had not turned unto me with her whole heart, but feignedly, saith the Most High. You know, she was half-stepping, halfway doing right. And she saw what happened to the northern tribe, Israel. And she still messed up. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 11, verse 12. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcast of Israel, okay, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. You see see where it's always a difference? Israel, Judah, okay, gonna assemble the outcast of Israel and the dispersed of Judah. Ezekiel chapters 37, verses 19 through 22. They say unto them, Thus said Yahuwah Elohim, Behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his fellows, and I will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in my hand. See, when Mashiach comes back, all that separation between Judah and Israel, that's going to end. Okay? But not until. Verse 20 says, And the stick whereupon thou writest, there shall be in thine hand before their eyes. Verse 21, And say unto them, Thus said Yahuwah Elohim, Behold, I will take the children of Israel from the heathen, whither they be gone, and I will gather them on every side, and bring them into their own land. Verse 22, I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all, which is Yahushua. And they shall no more be two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms any more at all. See? You know, Judah was prophesied, from the Most High to even Jacob. That I guess we can say Judah was going to be like the top dog out of all the tribes. Let's see what it says. Let's go to Genesis chapter 49 and verses 8 through 10. Now, this is a prophecy, that the Most High is given to Jacob, or Israel, as we call him. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. You hear that? Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies, and thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Verse 9, Look, Judah is a lion's whelp from the prey, my son. Thou art gone up. He stooped down. He couched as a lion, and as an old lion. Who shall rouse him up? Verse 10, the scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come. And unto him shall the gathering of the people. Now, Shiloh means peace or tranquility. All right? Mashiach gonna come back and put peace in between the tribes. And it says that the scepter shall not depart from Judah. Okay? Why? Because that's Mashiach's brethren. See, you hear these people on these debates talking about that Yahushua was not a so-called Jew or Yahudim, but that's a lie. We can prove it with the scriptures. And you know, if you look up the word scepter, it's a rod. And a lot of it, it can be a rod of iron, you know, a rod of correction. And we can, you know, we can see that in scripture themselves, where it say the Most High, Mashiach is going to rule with a rod of iron. Okay. Let's see. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 7. And this is the blessing of Judah. And he said, hear, Elohim, the voice of Judah, and bring him unto his people. Let his hands be sufficient for him, and be thou an help to him from his enemies. You know, folks, Judah is just special. You know, you should be proud of your heritage, because we are from the same tribe that Yahushua himself came through. All right. The book of Micah chapter 5, verse 2 says, but thou, Bethlehem Ephrath, thou be little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of thee shall come forth unto me that is to be the ruler in Israel, whose goings forth have been from old, from everlasting. Wonder who's that he's talking about. Psalms chapter 60, verse 7 says, Gilead is mine, and Manasseh is mine. Ephraim also is the strength of mine head. Judah is my lawgiver. Okay. You know, we was talking about the scepter, you know, and what it was. You can see what the scepter is. It's Sometimes it's what the royalty uses, and to correct people or stuff like that. But we'll see that word scepter, which was in that prophecy that Jacob said. We can see it concerning Mashiach. We can see it in Psalms chapter 45, verse 6, where Most High talking to Yahusha. Thy throne, O Elohim, is forever and ever. The scepter of thy kingdom is a right scepter. See, is that not what Jacob said? That the scepter was not going to depart from Judah? And that's why. Revelation chapter 12, verse 5. And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, a scepter. And her child was caught up to Elohim and to his throne. Revelation 19:15. And out of his mouth go a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. See, that's the prophecy being fulfilled. What Jacob was saying in Genesis 49. And he tread the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty Yahuwah. Let's get one more. Hebrews chapter 1, verse 8. And unto the Son he said, Thy throne, O Elohim, is forever and ever. A scepter of righteousness is the scepter of thy kingdom. See, Mashiach coming back here to rule, we gotta know that Mashiach knows who, as how the Bible says it, Jews are. Actually, they are descendants from Judah. And so this is where that name, people use that name as Jews, but we don't call out, I don't know none of us to say we Jew or Jewish. We say Yahudim or Yahuda. We never use that term, so what people in an uproar about? We don't even call ourselves that. But I guarantee you, Mashiach knows who they are because he's from the tribe of Judah. See? You wouldn't think, don't you think he know who the Yahudi or not? Revelation chapter 3, verse 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews, or which say they are Yahudi, or Yahudim, and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. So, family, we don't need to be getting no debates about that. Promise you, the Most High is going to make sure that the whole world knows who the chosen people are. That he gonna do the fighting. We ain't gotta do nothing but watch and keep obeying. That's what we got to do. We don't need to be getting up in arms about what these people say on TV and anywhere else. You know, let's see. Let's go to Revelation chapter 5, verse 1 through 5. And we're going to see who was Mashiach, Yehudi or not. Okay. Verse 1. And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within and on the backside, sealed with 7 seals. And I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seals thereof. Verse 3. And no man in heaven, nor in her earth, neither under the earth, was able to open the book, neither to look thereon. Verse 4 says, And I wept much, because no man was found worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereon. Verse 5 says, And one of the elders said unto me, Weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, has prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof. Now, whose word you going to take for it? Or what Mashiach was? See? You know, the scriptures tell us, family, that all Israel is going to be saved. Now, that's kind of deceiving, because we know it's only going to be a remnant. A lot of us from any tribe is not going to make it. So what he's saying really is Israel, you know, the 12 tribes are not going to be diminished, okay, or done away with. But it's going to be a remnant, all right? So in that vein, yeah, all Israel will be saved from every tribe. Let's see. Let's look at Revelation chapter 21, verse 10 through 12. And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me the great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of the heaven from Elohim, having the glory of Elohim, and her light was like unto a stone much precious, even like jasper stone, clear as crystal, and had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, and at the and at the gates 12 angels, and the names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. So you see right there, and even Paul has said it, have the Most High done away with his people? And no, Yah forbid. We just had to serve out our time until the fullness of the Gentiles come in. But if we were going to be done away with, then why are there 12 gates in the New Jerusalem that the Most High is going to bring down? Okay? In fact, go to Romans chapter 11, verse 25 through 27. It says, "For I would not, brethren, that you be ignorant of this mystery, lest you should be wise in your own conceit, that blindness in part is happened to Israel, until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in." Verse 26, "And so all Israel shall be saved, as it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer, Mashiach, and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob. For this is my covenant unto them, when I shall take away their sin." See, the Most High, he's not going to break his own covenant, family. It's not going to happen. So why do we care what any group of people call themselves? Because that's not what we call ourselves. We don't go by that name. It's not no ISH on the back of Yahudi or Yahudim at all. And we don't even refer ourselves by that name. That was given by Gentiles in that day, and they used that right across the board. Even if you were living among the tribe of Judah, say you from Benjamin or Levi or something, when you went around people, they called you a Jew because of where you resided. Just like they call us, family, Americans. But that's not our heritage. But because of the place where we are, then we take on their name, Americans. All right? So that's the way it was then. They figure anybody coming from Jerusalem or reside in Judea, they refer to them as Jews. Actually, only the ones who were descendants of Judah was Yahudim. Okay? Let's see here. No, got another. Let me see here. Give me just a second. Okay, family, let's go to John chapter 1, verse 11. And it says that he came unto his own, but his own received him not. Now, who is his own? It's safe to say that his own is the people of Judah that was in Jerusalem. That's his own. That's the tribe that he's coming through. He's the seed of David. It certainly wasn't all of Israel because they wasn't there. Remember that? Had a split. They were living in Samaria. And our people, Judah, didn't want nothing to do with them at all. Okay? Didn't speak to them, didn't look at them, they didn't want nothing to do with them. So they wasn't where Mashiach came to. So the verse says he came to his own, the so-called Jews, because he's one, according to the flesh. Matthew chapter 13, verse 57 and 58, where it said, a prophet is not without honor except in his own country and house. See, Mashiach was in his own territory, Jerusalem, Judea. And he said, except in his own house. And it also says that he couldn't even do no mighty works there because of their unbelief. All right? Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 5 and 6. Behold, the days come, saith Elohim, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. Who is that, family? Verse 6. In his days, Judah shall be saved, and all Israel shall dwell safely. You see the distinction between Judah? And this is his name, where he shall be called the Elohim, our righteousness. I'm not going to use that word, Lord, okay? Matthew chapter 22, verse 42, saying, What think ye of Mashiach? Whose son is he? They say unto him, the son of David. Okay? Was not David the king over Judah? Especially after the other tribes split, and he said he was going to leave him one for the sake of David. Let's see here. Yeah. That's not the one I want. Yeah. Let's go to Luke chapter 32. I'm sorry. Luke chapter 1, verse 32 and 33. He shall be great and shall be called the Son of the Highest, and the Most High shall give unto him the throne of his father David, and he shall reign over the house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdom there shall be no end. Okay. You can see it again. Let's go to Revelation 22:16. I, Issaac, have sent my angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, and the bright and morning star. Let's see. Now, was David from the tribe of Judah? Anybody want to answer that? Luke chapter 18, verse 35 and 38. And it came to pass that as he come nigh unto Jericho, a certain blind man sat by the way begging. And hearing the multitude pass by, he asked what it meant. And they told him that Yahushua of Nazareth passed by. And he cried, saying, Yahushua, thou son of David, have mercy on me. Family, I tell you what, let's go to John chapter 19 and verse 3. Let's see what they did to him, what they said. It said, verse 3, and said, Hail, King of the Jews, Yehudi, King of Yehudi, Yahudim. And they smote him with their hands. John 19:19. And Pilate wrote a title and put it up on the stake. And the writing was Yahushua of Nazareth, the King of who? Israel or the Jews? Okay. Matthew chapter 2, verse 1 and 2. And when Yahushua was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, Where is he that is born King of the Jews, the King of Yehudi? For we have seen his star in the east, and have came to worship him. See, Family, I'm telling you. The northern tribe was not there when Mashiach came to his people. They had split and they lived in Samaria, and Judah had no use for them at all. You know. Let's I think, what verse is this? I intended to bring out about John chapter 4, verse 4 through 10. And this is when Mashiach had to go through Samaria. Verse 4. And he must need to go through Samaria. See, he just had to go through there. All right. Verse 5. He come to the city of Samaria, which is called Sychar, near to the parcel of ground that Jacob gave to his son Joseph. Verse 6. Now Jacob's well was there. Mashiach, therefore, being wearied with his journey, sat thus on the well. And it was about the sixth hour. There come a woman of Samaria to draw water. Mashiach said unto her, Give me to drink. Verse 8, for his disciples were gone away unto the city to buy meat. Now he asked this Samaritan woman, to fetch him some water. Verse 9 says, Then said the woman of Samaria unto him, How is it thou, being a Jew? Did you hear? Now, the people in Samaria was Israel. Of course, they kind of mixed in with some of those people and stuff, but that's where they were, Samaritan. That's where Israel went when they split from Judah. That's why Judah didn't have no use for them, because of the wickedness and serving other Elohim or gods, and forgot all about the Most High. Now, Judah did her dirt too, but she still believed. She was just hard-headed and stiff with her neck. So that's why the woman said in verse 9, the woman said, Samaria said unto him, How is it that thou, being a Jew, ask me drink for a drink, which am a woman of Samaria? See, she knew it was a problem between the so-called Jews and Israel, northern tribe. She said, For the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans. Did I just tell y'all that? That's where the other tribes went when they went into Samaria. So they were called Samaritans. Okay? Verse 10, Mashiach answered and said unto her, If thou knew the gift of Elohim, and who it is that said to thee, Give me to drink, thou wouldst have asked of him, and he would have given you living water. See, Issaac said, you know, if you knew who it was that was asking you for this drinking water, you'd have been asking me, and I'd have gave you the living water. Okay. So yeah, they had no use for each other, family, at all. You know, people just, I don't know, family. Every nation of people on this earth can claim their heritage without any problem. Okay, if you are Asian and you claim your heritage, it's not a problem. If you Russian or Japanese or Alaskan or anything, any of other people on the earth can claim their heritage but us. Because when we try to claim our true heritage, it's hate speech. Okay? We found that out, right? Anytime we say now if we get on there and say we came from donkeys, nobody would say nothing. Oh yeah, well, they probably right. Or we came from monkeys. Yeah, that's it. But if we try to claim from the Bible our heritage, it's a problem. No other people have to deal with that but us. Okay? I mean, we don't have to argue that point. You know, the scriptures clearly describes the Most High's people. All you have to do is read it, and they know that. You know, nobody's crazy. People know who you are, family. Maybe not so many uh, individuals, but rulers and heads of these countries, they already know. Okay? I mean, we and our Egyptian captors in that day looked similar, family. We were the same color. Okay? They got what you call them hieroglyphics and paintings and stuff on the walls and caves and stuff like that, showing that the Israelites and the um, Egyptians looked alike. All right? Even Paul, you know, let's read it. Let's go to Acts chapter 21, verse 36 and verse 7, where somebody mistake him for an Egyptian. This is when people was trying to do something to Paul, okay? Verse 36. For the multitude of people followed after, crying, away with him. Verse 37. And as Paul was to be led into the castle, he said unto the chief captain, may I speak unto thee? Who said to Paul, can thou speak Greek? Okay. And he asked Paul, ain't you that Egyptian? Let me see. Just a second. I know. Yeah. Going down to verse 38, it says, are not thou that Egyptian, which before these days made a uproar, and led out into the wilderness 4,000 men that were murderers? And he asked Paul, he said, are you that Egyptian? Can you speak Greek? Well, yeah, he could, if he would, because Paul had dual citizenship, okay? But the man looked at him and said, are you that Egyptian? That's why I asked Paul, well, can you speak Greek? Ain't you that Egyptian? Showing you, family, how else would Moses be able to pass for Egyptian to become a prince if they didn't look like the people, the Egyptians? See, we don't have time for all this hate speech. Family, we don't have time for it. Don't hate none of them people. Okay? Most I deal with that. I just stick to the truth of the scriptures. I don't have to prove nothing to nobody. I know who I am. Yeah, I don't know how many of y'all are old enough to remember the first movie, The Ten Commandments, that came out in 1956, made by Cecil B. DeMille. They put pretty much all the miracles that Moses did in there except one. I wonder why they left that one out. Okay? In fact, let's go to Exodus chapter 4, verse 6 and 7. Why would they leave this out? I mean, y'all had the snake down there and eating them up and all the lice and all that going on. You left one or two out. Wonder why. Let's go. Exodus chapter 4, verse 6 and 7. And the Most High said furthermore unto him. He had already told him, to pick up the staff and it'll turn into a snake. But he told him to do something else. Verse 6 saying, the Most High said furthermore unto him, put now thy hand into thy bosom. And he put in his hand into his bosom, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow. Verse 7, and he said, put thine hand into thy bosom again. And he put his hand into his bosom again, and plucked it out of his bosom, and behold, it was turned again as his other flesh. Okay. If he took it in there the first time and it came out white as snow, and after he put it back in and took it out again, it turned back to his natural color. Uh, what is that saying? Possibly he's a person of color? See, that's not no hate speech. See, this is Bible. People can argue with it all they want to. Here's what it is. Matthew chapter 2, verse 1 and 2. And when Mashiach was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, where is he that is born of the King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, and have come to worship him. Verse 13. Matthew chapter 2, verse 13. Just go down some. It said, and when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Most High appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, arise and take the young child and his mother, and flee into Egypt, and be thou until I bring thee word. For Herod will seek the child to destroy him. Why did the Most High tell them to go into Egypt? Because the people look just like them. Folks, Egypt is in Africa. So he's going to be hid among a lot of people that look just like him. Okay? This ain't got nothing to do with no hate. Family, look. Black people really are not hateful people. We don't go around and threaten to shoot up people and hang them, and we go around with hoods on our head and threatening people. If you look at it, family, we did do more harm to ourselves than we've ever done to any other people. That's not us. Now, they lie on us all the time. Oh, it's black people hate Asians, and they hate Jewish people. They hate that. We really don't hate anybody. Now, there's time where we have to defend ourselves from people. Or if they say something about us, we'll say something back. Or if we feel like we've been done wrong. But as far as being aggressive and going out and try to destroy another people, we don't do that. Nor could we. We don't do that, family. That's not us. That's how the world thinks of us and say on the media about us, but it's not true. I know. I've been this color for 75 years. I've never seen them do it. We don't go out and in groups and try to harm anybody. If we get up in arms, it's because somebody is coming to try and attack us. We don't have a choice. If people would just leave us alone, they'd never probably hear from us. We ain't coming out to do nothing. We're not the ones that was in, what was that, Charlotte, saying that this other race of people was not going to replace us. That wasn't us. See, we didn't say it. But yet we get that tag stuck on us. We're anti this and anti that. It's other people is the anti, and they never have to do no explanation about what they say. Okay? Anything we say, we got to have an explanation. I'm telling you, it's something else. We ain't got time to hate. Man, we all trying to get ourselves right for the kingdom. Most High gonna deal with this other stuff. Promise you here. You know, so that's why, I just stay away from it, family. Because, that's all they want. They is for somebody they can try to discredit and try to take them down, and then the rest of us is supposed to fall in line. I tell you what, I'm not going to ever put out no hate speech against no other race. But I'm also not going to speak the truth either of the scriptures. Okay? And that's the way that is. If anybody ought to be apologized to for mistreatment, is us, because we are mistreated and hated of all nations. People put up signs about us. They call us all kind of names. They hang nooses in the workplace. They put on blackface. And they never have to come publicly and apologize for nothing. Okay? We're not the problem. We're not the problem, man. It's this world's problem. Those who would follow Satan, his agents. Okay? All right, family. I might have went a little long on here. I wasn't expecting it to be that long, but it is what it is, family. This is the Most High's word, and you just can't rush it. Okay? So I think I'll leave it at that, family. Remember, family, we're not haters. The world hates us. Okay? We just trying to endure until Yahushua HaMashiach comes back. And with that, I say, Shalom.